Coto de Caza, California. Famous for its celebrity inhabitants, including its screaming housewives, and its screamingly gorgeous location nestled against the Saddleback Mountains' golden foothills. But this guard-gated community on the eastern edge of glittering Orange County is more than just a playground and battleground of the rich and famous. It's a place that thousands of ordinary and non-screaming people just like you and me call home. It's got everything from condominiums to townhomes to luscious East Coast-style estates and equestrian properties, and they all surround Coto de Caza's spectacular 36-hole golf course. So let's sit back, relax, and see what this once isolated hunting preserve offers residents today. We're going to be real about the pros and cons of this community, so you're going to want to watch the whole video to make sure you avoid moving to the wrong place. And by the way, I know we're poking a little fun here at the OG of the Real Housewives franchise and the woman who put Coto on the map. So let's be clear before we get started by saying we love you, Vicky. Courtney's hours on the couch during maternity leave were brighter because of you and your fellow Real Housewives of OC cast members.
So Courtney, the sun is out, there's no clouds in the sky, it's absolutely beautiful today. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna go for a tour of Coto de Caza, California. So we just wanted to show you just the types of large estates that you can get in Coto. Obviously, you know, like the majority of homes, we're gonna show you, you know, typical homes in Coto, but then there is the opportunity. It honestly, I mean, obviously it's a lot less green than England, but it gives me like the memory of like these estates and these horse properties in England, right? It's just this very majestic feel, and you do have that opportunity here.
I did not get the England feel, but you know what? I'll go with it. Let's roll with that. So basically, what's cool about like, you know, Coto is that and you do have condos, townhomes, houses on, you know, a normal smaller lot, and then you do have houses that get, you know, mansions that get bigger and bigger, where you're actually dealing with homes are not like, you know, the lots that aren't like measured in square footage, but in acreage. Like they can actually be on several acres. So it just varies depending on what you're looking for. And if, you know, that's something that's interesting to you, you know, reach out to us so we can have that conversation about specifically where within Coto would work, because also you have Coto itself, that's a gated, you know, 5,100 or so housing unit community. And then you have within it, you know, these other subdivisions that are gated within themselves. So it's a gate within a gate, or you can just have one of these mansions that are just gated themselves. So it's just, you know, take your pick. So speaking of homes with large lots, and some of these lots are so large that actually do accommodate like you can actually have equestrian property here. So you can have your stable, your horses, if that's like something that's interesting to you. If you want to have a horse, so they do have the Equestrian Preserve where actually you know, that's for residents of the community. However, like here, you actually do have, you can just actually have your own home with the horses right there.
Yeah, obviously very limited. It's not like it's, you know, every house is like this, but it is a possibility.
There you go. So before we continue, I'm Sean Dezad.
And I'm Courtney Dezad, and we are licensed real estate agents here in the state of California.
And if you're watching this video, you might be going, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the glitz. I love the glamour. And of course, I love this amazing weather. And I can't wait to move out there now. But the problem is that I'm not in the area. I may be out of state and maybe even out of the country. And I don't know what to do. And I totally get that. That's why you want to reach out to us so we can have that conversation to find out specifically what you're looking for. And we can be your boots on the ground. We can do these virtual tours of these various properties in the area. So you could be in the comforts of your own home or your area without having to come out here. And then we can help you locate that amazing property. And then you can come out here and make sure that, you know, that property works for you. So that's, you know, what we have to offer. So if you're interested in that, give me a call or shoot me a text.
Yes, that number right there, that is a cell phone. So you can call or text, or you can email us.
So we just drove out of the Coto Country Home subdivision, and this is more of a typical community within Coto. So not all the homes are these massive equestrian estates. So we have the wide variety of homes. You even have condos here, and all the way up to obviously those huge massive homes that are on acreage. Now your typical home though here would still be a good sized house. However, it's one that's either 2 or 3 car garages, and you know the lot sizes are in the vicinity, like let's say 10,000, 8,000 square feet. So that's your typical home, and of course they go up tremendously from there. And as far as the median age of Coto, it's about, like the median age is about 1994. So you have some homes obviously that are newer, and then obviously some homes that are older. A lot of times people think these South County homes are built, you know, like only a couple years ago, and that's really not the case in Coto. It's a much more mature area, and you kind of see that from the foliage, the trees. Like these trees are all pretty mature at this point, and which is, I think, absolutely beautiful. And but at the same time, with that, what's a great aspect of it is that you have a relatively low property tax rate here. So you're mostly, I'm not aware of any homes at this point that are actually, that have Mello-Roos. And what Mello-Roos is that it's a tack on to your typical property tax rate to fund new infrastructure, new roads, new fire stations, and that kind of stuff. And so because this has been built for over 20 years for the vast majority of it, that's not something to worry about.
So now you're gonna get a little action shot. You're gonna see what Sean does for his clients. Meaning Sean is doing a little digital tour for somebody who's interested in Coto de Caza. We are actually inside the summit, which is a gated community within the gated community of Coto de Caza. So
it's a gate within a gate.
A gate within a gate. So you got 2 gates. So you wanna explain a little about the summit?
Yeah, for the summit is for one of those people that wants more privacy, more luxury, because obviously Coto itself, Coto de Caza is gated. However, the summit is one of a few communities within Coto de Caza that actually has a gate within the gate.
Yeah, and I feel like it really exemplifies kind of what you think of Coto, which is like these big estates. I mean, if you think of maybe the East Coast, like East Coast living with big estates, lots of land, or maybe even Sean was saying it kind of reminded him a little bit of Beverly Hills. It definitely has that vibe.
Yeah.
So if that's the vibe that you're looking for, this could be a great option for you. Every time that I'm in Coto, obviously Sean is here a lot more than me because he actually works with the clients. So when I'm actually here, I'm always like, I forgot how nice Coto is.
Yeah, no, Coto is really nice. I mean, people just really like, again, as a general whole, as an idea that, you know, not every home is like a huge house, but
yeah,
you do on average get bigger homes on bigger lots and gated. Like, you know, I can't tell you how many clients have reached out that want those 3 factors, and Coto checks off all those boxes.
And as promised, here's a little action shot of Sean at work. Yes, actual work, not just filming videos. He's doing a digital tour for someone who is interested in Coto. We can't show you the inside of the house for obvious reasons, but if you are interested in purchasing a home in Coto, give Sean a call or a text, and he can get you started on finding that perfect home for you, whether that home is in Coto de Caza or somewhere else in Orange County. So now we're at the Coto Golf and Racquet Club, and now I would say this is a big pro and a con. It kind of seems kind of weird, a pro and a con of Coto de Caza, because if you want to make use of all these amenities, it's going to cost you. So you want to talk about like not only the HOA dues here, but then anything else that you want to partake in, what do you have to pay for? Because Sean actually has a client that's buying right now as we speak, so he's very well versed.
And actually I have a couple that are looking right now too.
So he's very well versed on what is exactly happening right now. So give him the scoop.
So in Coto de Caza, you actually have, HOA is actually relatively low. At the time of this recording, about $270 per month, and that covers it being a gated community and the general amenities of the community members and their guests here. Now, the reason why it's as low as it is because if you want extra, it's going to cost you. So if you want to be part of, like, let's say you want to have like part of the pools, the lap pools, the tennis courts, the golf club, those are all extra fees. So that's where the extra cost comes into play. And that's where, again, because a lot of these homes actually have pools themselves, so they just don't need that extra cost. So actually, I appreciate that I wouldn't have to pay extra if I was living here for those amenities that I'm not going to use.
Just to be clear, so when he's talking about these extra amenities, so all these amenities, which is tennis courts, pools, and then of course the golf
gym.
Course, yeah, and the gym, and then, but if you do want to use the amenities, it is tiered, right?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
So how does it start out?
Well, I mean, like, so popular ones, the social membership that gets you into the lap pools, the pool itself, as well as the gym and that kind of stuff, and plus like some social activity that go with it. So there's that. Then you have like the tennis, adding tennis to it adds another tier. And then on top of that, if you want to be part of the golf club, depending on when you do it, like it will cost you a bit more, because that's like the coveted membership here. And there's an initiation fee, and it's all across the board depending on when you do it. So we don't even want to give you a quote, because that is all across the board. And I would say a hack would be to actually kind of time that bit more, because sometimes there's more demand for the golf membership than others. And so when there's low demand, you can just get a better deal. So you kind of just be monitoring it. So what the price is today is not necessarily what it's going to be tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now.
Yeah, so just to kind of summarize, so the pro and the con is that it does have a lot of amenities. The pro is that if you don't want to use them, you don't have to pay extra for them. The con is that if you do want to use them, you have to pay.
Exactly. Yeah. And just to be clear, there are plenty of amenities within here that are included. So like the parks, the playgrounds, that kind of stuff, those are all included. It's just that when it comes to the
this
pools,
club.
like primarily, exactly. The Coto de Caza Golf and Racket Club, that's where the extra cost comes into play.
Yeah, and there are 2 little restaurants there too. That's really the only restaurants that are on the premises of Coto de Caza.
Yes.
So another thing to know about Coto de Caza is that, I mean, if you are deciding to come here to Orange County to live, you're going to become a weather wuss, just like us born and raised Southern Californians, because that's what happens. But anyways, Coto de Caza definitely is on the hotter side. So you will notice that it's hotter in the summer. I mean, because I'm a wuss, I'm noticing that it's a little hotter than what I'm used to because we don't live this far east in Orange County. So it is a little hotter.
Yes, the air conditioner will be cranking. So just be aware, especially because, like, you know, we said the median age is about 1994. A lot of times the HVAC systems, it's a crapshoot whether or not how new it is.
Yeah.
So just be aware that obviously if it's on the older side, that it may still work, but it may not work efficiently. So your electric bill, just be mindful. Again, you may want to consider investing in a new system or like get some solar. Yeah, get some solar going on. Yeah. So there's a few different ways to kind of mitigate that. Yeah. But yes, the electric bill will be cranking in the summer.
Yeah, especially with the bigger houses too. I mean, there's no way to get around it, and electricity in California is very expensive. So that is just something to know. So you may be thinking about moving out here to Coto de Caza with a family, and if you are, you're probably wondering about the schools, right? So one interesting thing about Coto de Caza is there are no actual schools on the premises. I know at one time they were thinking about it, but then they just decided it would be too difficult because then, you know, some people would want to come in from outside the gates. It would just be too much of a hassle. So there are no schools within the actual gates of Coto de Caza. Coto de Caza is within the Capistrano Unified School District, which is the largest school district in Orange County. And one nice thing about Capistrano is not only are there many highly rated schools in the district, including the schools that are zoned for Capo. You can check for yourself on niche.com. It is zoned for Tesoro High School, which I believe gets 10 out of 10 at greatschools.org. So you've got some highly rated schools that you're zoned for. But in addition to that, Capo is a cool school district because it does offer a lot of like charter schools. We have a couple of friends that go to a school. It's like Community Roots. It's like a Reggio Philosophy charter school. You have to lottery in. Another really popular aspect of the Capistrano Unified School District is the language immersion schools they have. They have quite a few Spanish immersion. They have Mandarin immersion. So you just have a lot of options. And then one thing, a decent amount choose to send their kids to Santa Margarita High School, which is a private school just outside the premises of Coto de Caza. So there's definitely lots and lots of options when it comes to schooling, which is really nice. So now we're at the Coto Sports and Recreation Park. We just want to show you, I mean, it's not like too big or anything like that, but there's definitely, you know, little parks all throughout Coto de Caza.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably of the larger size, certainly, where you have like basketball courts, sports courts, volleyball courts, baseball diamonds, all that stuff. So what's nice is that you do have this within the gates. Now, of course, right outside the gates, you have Rancho Santa Margarita, Mission Viejo, these other areas that are right around it that all obviously have huge, much larger parks. But again, it's nice to have it at least within the confines of Coto de Caza.
So obviously the centerpiece of Coto de Caza is the golf course, of course, but there is an... Of course, yes. But there is an equestrian element as well, and here we are at the Coto de Caza Equestrian Preserve. You know, if you like horses, this could be a great opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people just love them some horses, and the Coto Equestrian Preserve, right? And so this is where, again, you have all the equestrian activities, and there's tons of trails, like all over, like running throughout Coto de Caza. So as much as the golf course is the heart of it, this is almost a circulatory system. Yes, and then obviously, I mean, Coto is right on the edge of just wilderness, right? So if you love trails, whether you love horses or not, I mean, the wilderness is kind of like the selling point for a lot of people. Yeah, you're butting up to the edge of that. And again, I guess leads us to, we could probably talk about one thing that we want to be real, right? So there is elevated fire danger here just because you are backing up to brush. I mean, you're backing up to, like, you know, undeveloped land, and that is like likelihood of something happening as far as forest fires are concerned. Again, having said that, these firefighters do a fantastic job. I haven't really seen anything in Coto especially that has like had any issues, but again, that doesn't mean it can't happen. And you will, because of the elevated fire risk, the homeowner's insurance is a bit more expensive. Yeah, so and if you are concerned about fire, either comment below or you can email us and we can give you a fire map from the Orange County Fire Authority to help you know which areas of Orange County have elevated risk. So we are literally like just outside the gates of Coto de Caza on the north end of Coto de Caza. We're in Rancho Santa Margarita.
and this is a commercial plaza, Plaza Antonio. And we just wanted to, make it clear that there's really no commercial or really anything like that inside.
In the confines.
In the confines of Coto de Caza. So if you do decide to live in Coto de Caza, all your shopping and dining will be outside, whether that's here or Mission Viejo or, all the way up to the Spectrum. So yeah, that's just something to know.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is literally right across the gates.
Yeah.
So this is where you have some banks, you have your CVS pharmacy, you have your pavilions,
Yeah.
Starbucks,
Yeah.
Orange Theory, like obviously your typical strip mall, right? So
Yeah.
like you have that stuff right here.
Yeah.
And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is when you give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call or text for all those people out there that do not like to call, just like me.